This video was brought to you by GreenManGaming. Click the link below to see some amazing deals on some incredible games. You guys know what time it is. It's backlog time. It's time for me to talk about some games that I've played in my backlog. I know I said this was gonna be like a video I do once a month, but I figured, fuck it. If I play enough games in a certain amount of time and I want to talk about them, I'll just make a backlog video. And that's why I'm making this one. So let's start with the first game, that being Mafia 1 Remake, or Mafia Definitive Edition as it's also called. I've never been a massive fan of the Mafia games. I tried playing Mafia 2 a few years ago after playing Saints Row, and obviously I was a stupid kid and you couldn't fuck around in that game, so I kind of, you know, I didn't really enjoy it all too much. And Mafia 3 is Mafia 3. It's got an incredible story. Don't get me wrong, but the in-between gameplay sections in the open world, it is very repetitive and boring. I do recommend watching like all the cutscenes of Mafia 3 though, because it does have a really good story. Mafia 1, on the other hand, might be the exception, and honestly, it might be what has gotten me into the Mafia games. I want to try Mafia 2 again because of how good Mafia 1 was. It doesn't make the best first impression. Like, you start out as a taxi driver and there is a section where you literally do taxi driving, like you pick people up and they just treat you like shit the whole time, which is probably accurate to how taxi drivers actually feel. But after that point, the game's story just keeps ramping up and up more and more, and there's no point where it feels like the game drags. In fact, to put it in perspective, I started playing this game at like 9 PM and I finished it at 2 AM. I beat it in one sitting. I put about 6 hours into that game and I didn't want to have breaks. I got mad when I needed the toilet because I was like, shit, I have to pause the game. I need to fucking go to the toilet. Like, oh, I genuinely cannot describe how enjoyable the story of this game was. You know, seeing the relationship build up between the main character Tommy and the two other Mafia members, Sam and Paulie, seeing the Don slowly change over time from this more friendly, approachable guy who obviously brings you into the family to this ice-cold murderer who you kind of begin to despise near the end. And shit just gets crazy. It gets absolutely wild in this game. I love the story. The story is a 10 out of 10. It is worth playing just for the story alone. Now, gameplay wise, it's kind of whatever. I don't really enjoy the driving in the game because, you know, you're driving old-timey cars. They kind of handle like shit, and the moment-to-moment combat sections in story missions are just your pretty standard third-person shooter. It's a bit janky though. I really hate the crosshair on the pistols, how it feels like it's RNG whether or not you're actually gonna land a hit because it's just a massive circle. But I mean, it's passable. But you may be wondering though, why didn't I enjoy Mafia 3 considering I really liked that story but didn't really enjoy the moment-to-moment gameplay? Well, the biggest part of that is the fact Mafia 1 is less than half the length of Mafia 3, and also Mafia 1 does something I think more open world games should do, especially games that have tacked on open worlds, and Mafia 1 definitely is one of them. Don't get me wrong, it looks amazing, but there's no substance. It's fucking boring, and they know this because when you get in a car with another character to drive to a location, you get an option to skip the journey. I don't know why more open world games don't have this feature. Even on like a replay, even if the game knows you're replaying it, there should be a feature to skip the journey. It's just, I don't understand why that isn't the thing. Mafia Definitive Edition though, great game, loved every second of it, and I'm definitely going to be playing Mafia 2 in the future. Now, the next game I want to talk about is Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2. Now, when this game came out, I kind of felt FOMO, you know, I kind of felt like I had to get this game because everyone was talking about it at the time, and in a way, I do kind of regret it. Like, I'm not saying Space Marine 2 is a bad game, I don't know, I didn't really enjoy the co-op modes, and I especially didn't enjoy the PvP. Fuck PvP, man. I'm getting to that point in my life where if anything has PvP, I'm just not gonna bother with that shit. People are too sweaty nowadays, and I just can't be arsed. Now, Space Marine 2's campaign is probably what a lot of people got this game for, and yeah, I got it for the campaign, but I did think I'd spend a lot of time playing the co-op mode, which I didn't do. And the campaign for Space Marine 2 is pretty good, honestly. So the Warhammer universe is a very interesting universe, and I haven't really sunk my teeth into it fully. Like, I have a vague understanding of what goes on. I play a lot of Warhammer 40k Darktide. I really like Darktide. I've played some Vermintide too, but fantasy Warhammer as a whole whole other ballpark. Space Marine 2, you know, it takes the 40k universe and expands on it. Well, not really expands on it, it just takes place in the universe, and you play as Space Marines, which I think are they the most, I think they're the most popular Warhammer character in 40k. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but you play as a fella called Titus, and you play as him in the first game too, and Space Marine 2 does something that I gotta give it credit for. You can wear the helmet during the campaign, which you couldn't do in the original. For some reason, you had to see his ugly mug throughout the entire game, and it kind of pissed me off because Space Marine helmets are cool as hell. And yeah, you know, this is a pretty fun third-person action game. You know, you got guns, you got melee weapons, and you have like a dodge and a parry where you can punish enemies if you time it correctly. It also has a unique element with like hordes when it comes to the enemies, the Tyranids. Like, there are certain sections where just like they render in so many of them on the screen to come at you, and it is so cool. But aside from that, you know, it's all right. If you have a friend to play it with, I can definitely see it being way better if you do, because it feels like one of those games that's only really like super duper fun in co-op. Like, aside from that, it really outstays its welcome a bit, and especially near the end, it starts dragging. It doesn't do enough new throughout the missions that I don't know, I got quite bored near the end. And I can imagine if I really liked the PvP and the co-op mode, I would probably rate this game way higher, but as it stands currently, I think it's all right. You know, it's like a 7, a 6 out of 10. I can't believe I just, oh, fucking, why the fuck did I say those numbers? But yeah, I might give the co-op mode a try again, because the gameplay is very solid, and I might try and convince some of my friends to get this game so we can play the co-op mode together. Now, the next game I want to talk about is Cruel. Now, Cruel is one of those post-void type games where you just kind of get through like a level as quick as you can because you have some like thing behind you that wants to kill you, and it is a game where you need to have the reflexes of a god. And let me tell you, it's a lot of fun. I have tried playing post-void before, but I much prefer Cruel. There's something about the way Cruel plays compared to it, and also the art style. Like, it goes for more of a low poly look than like an original 2D sprite Doom look like post-void, and I much prefer the low poly look. It looks incredible. But yeah, it's a roguelike, you know, on the fly you pick up different weapons, different melee weapons. If you stand still for a second, you get absolutely obliterated. Like, you will not come back from that, and it's good fun. I like it. I also really like in between like sections, this little dog appears and you get to choose like a little upgrade, and you also get the choice of gambling. Now, I tried the gambling once, and obviously, you know, gambling is not a good idea, and the game taught me very quickly why that's not a good idea, because as soon as I did, I got jump scared by this face and my entire run ended. It was gone. I don't even know what you can get from gambling. I don't know if you get like a massive upgrade or not, because I'm never trying that shit again. I have my achievement for dying to gambling, and you know what, I'll take it. But Cruel, it's a fun little indie game, you know, fun little roguelike game you can play well. I don't know if you don't know what else to play in the moment. That's it, really. It is really hard though, just a heads up. Now, the next game I want to talk about is Big Walk. Now, I know this game is pretty new, but this is one of the first quote-unquote friend slop games that I've truly understood. I understand the appeal of these games, and it really does come down to the fact of having friends. I did play Peak, though. Peak was fun as well, but Big Walk is just on a different level. This shit is just, it's really fun. It's so much fun. Like, you play as these, like, funny little bird people, and the best way to play it is by using proximity chat, and you just explore this open world, picking up these little red things that look like fetuses. I don't know what the hell they are, to get a key to progress to the next area of the island. Obviously, there's no stakes. It's a very relaxing game. You're supposed to take your time, split off into groups, and just walk and talk to each other. Maybe sit down, see the sights as the sun sets. It can get scary though when you get abandoned by everyone and the sun does set and you don't have a light source, because you kind of just, you're shit out of luck at that point, and you just gotta hope and pray that they find you. Luckily, there are flares around the island where you just just press a button, it shoots a flare up, and they can come collect you. But this game is so much fun. Like, around the island, there are a bunch of like little puzzles where you have to sometimes use teamwork to solve them. Like, we found this maze, and one of us had to collect this like timer, and we had to pass it through the holes in the wall to get it to the place where it needed to be put in the maze on time before the timer would just break. And it required a lot of communication, a lot of teamwork, but solving that task together, it was so satisfying. It was so much fun. There's also small little details as well, like you can pick each other up, and there are puzzles around that. Like, there was one near the start of the game where 4 of you, or it might have been 5, where you had to like make a massive tower just to press a button on a crane to let us collect one of those little red fetus things. I probably shouldn't call them little red fetus things, but that's what they look like. The game is also based on Australian wildlife. You know, supposedly this is what Australia's like, and it is beautiful. The game is very pretty, it is very nice to look at, and I learned a lot about Australian wildlife while playing, because I was playing with a few Australians, and turns out Australia isn't just a bunch of like wild animals that are set out to kill you. Who would have guessed? Who would have guessed? But yeah, Big Walk, definitely an indie game contender of the year. It's good shit. I really enjoyed it, and if you have a group of friends and you're looking for something to play, I highly recommend this. Genuinely, I understand friend slop now. This is the friend slop game. I should stop using that term. It's a horrible term. The next game I want to talk about is Beast of Reincarnation. Now, I streamed this game, and if you were on the stream, you already know what I think of this game, man. Oh my god. I think Game Freak should stick to making Pokemon games, although they're shit at that as well nowadays, so maybe Game Freak should just stop trying, just give up. Because Beast of Reincarnation is, I don't know what was going on with development for this game, because underneath all of the shit, there's a pretty good format here, you know, the combat is alright, albeit not challenging in the slightest, and I really like the enemy designs. I like the robot guys, and I also like the weird infected, weird looking animals. They're cool. I like it, but I just don't like the game. It's just really, it's so boring. There's nothing going on here. The story's whatever, and it's also buggy as hell. There was a bit when I was streaming where there was supposed to be this chase sequence with a giant monster, and it just didn't chase you at all. And I could tell it was supposed to chase you because I'd move further up and the like rocks would fall and I'd hear a scream as if it was like on top of us. Turn around, Geezer was still there, just waiting. I got a bit further in and he ambushed me, you know, jumped me from the side, but then he just stood and stared at me again. And I was like, and someone in my chat said, oh, why don't you go see if he's still there? Tried going back, and the developers put a cheeky invisible wall there because the model was probably still just stood there waiting, doing absolutely nothing. I didn't beat the game, but from the 3 hours I played, I don't think I want to beat the game. It's pretty bad. The last game I want to talk about is Bomb Rush Cyberfunk. Now, Jet Set Radio, very, very good game, and this is a spiritual successor to that, you know? I don't think it's made by some of the same developers. I'm not entirely sure on that. I think it's just heavily inspired by it, but it has one of the composers, and you can tell because this game has an incredible soundtrack, which just amplifies the gameplay of just going around the streets, performing as many tricks as you can, keeping up the combo for the points you score. It is just so much fun. And funnily enough, I haven't even beaten this game because all my time spent on this is just jumping around the open world on a skateboard or whatever fucking thing I'm on, just grinding on shit, jumping around, riding on walls, all that stuff. And honestly, that's all you really need. It really does feel like the game's story is like super tacked on, like even the developers knew, like, do we really need a story? Because it's not very good. And the story kind of forces you into combat sections as well. Yeah, this game has combat, and the combat it's not good. The combat is pretty bad. Something I do gotta give the story though is these like dream sections in between, which I really enjoy. I think they really complement the gameplay, and also I love weird trippy sections like the Evil Within. It's like the Evil Within, man. It's like the Evil Within. And I think a better comparison would actually be Psychonauts. The game looks incredible as well, like visually. It looks like a Dreamcast era game like Jet Set Radio, but modern, if that makes sense. And it is so much fun to play. It is so much fun. You can get this game so easily in like bundles nowadays, and if you're just looking for like a mindless game to just jump around in, I say mindless, you do need to think about the tricks you perform, especially if you want to keep a combo going, but the game is so much fun. Do you want to know what isn't fun though? Getting that fuck-ass a basketball achievement. I spent way too many times trying to get that basketball in in the hoop for the achievement. I didn't think it would be this hard. This shit is harder than the Evil Within on Akumu difficulty. I got the achievement though, so... So before I finish this backlog video, I have another game that I have 100%ed that I want to talk about. And it's a big one, fellas. It's the Evil Within 2. After all of this time and wanting to 100% this game, I finally sat down and decided, fuck it, I'm gonna 100% it. Now, you're probably wondering, oh, how did I do classic mode? You know, that mode's horrific. You can't upgrade Sebastian. You can only save 7 times. You have very limited saves. So how did I find it? So here's a fun fact. There are modifiers in the menu where you can turn on infinite stamina, invincibility, and you can one-shot every enemy, and it doesn't disable achievements. Now, my mindset when it comes to stuff like this is, I'm gonna take advantage of the mechanics the game gives me, you know, work smart, not hard. I don't really see it as cheating if it's something within the game that you can take advantage of. I only see getting achievements as cheating when you use like a third-party app or like some cheating software to alter the game, if that makes sense. And also, I would have imagined that doing classic mode legitimately, like, I don't think I have the time for that shit, man. I gotta make videos for you guys. I don't want to spend ages going through a bunch of chapters without saving and then dying to some stupid bullshit, which will happen. The Evil Within 2 is not a perfect game. I was actually soft-locked at one point and had to go back 2 chapters, even with the modifiers on. I was soft-locked on a fucking gate crank thing. Everything in this game is out to get you. It's a stem glitch, guys. It's a glitch within stem. But no, yeah, I've finally 100%ed the Evil Within 2. I've now 100%ed every Evil Within game, and by every Evil Within game I mean 2 of them, because we still don't have the Evil Within 3. We're never gonna get the Evil Within 3, and when we do, I'm fucking 100%ing that one as well. If we do. We probably won't, though. We probably won't. But yeah, I'm glad I 100%ed it finally, and it gave me an idea for a future video about whether or not what is classed as cheating when it comes to getting achievements for a lot of people, because I think it would make for a pretty interesting discussion video. But yeah, Evil Within 2 is 100%ed, and I'm very happy that I've done it. Thank you all so much for watching episode 9 of the Backlog series. We're almost up to double digits when it comes to this series, which is pretty insane to say, actually. You know, I play a lot of games, what can I say? But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed watching, and obviously let me know in the comments what games you've been playing in your backlog. I'd really like to know. Or hell, join my Discord server and tell me there. We have an entire section dedicated to talking about backlog games, or games you've 100%ed. And with that, I want to give a huge thank you to GreenManGaming, the sponsors of this channel. You already know who they are, you know what they do. They do great deals on games. Check them out if you have a bit of money and you want to, you know, buy a new game, you know? Just every purchase goes towards helping support the channel as well, so yeah. And before I go, I want to give a huge thank you to my Patreon supporters. Ever since announcing that I've gone full-time with content creation, the support has been overwhelming. Thank you guys so much for your support, genuinely. Same goes for the channel members. I don't feel like I do enough for you sometimes. There's only so many times I can thank you guys. Genuinely, like, the amount of you who are willing to spend money to see my content early. I think about it a lot, you know? It's very surreal to me, and it makes me so happy knowing that you guys enjoy my content enough that you're willing to go out your way to support me, to get early access to these videos. And yeah, I've been trying to churn them out as much as I can. I am absolutely grinding now that I'm on full time, and I really hope you're enjoying the content I'm putting out. I've got more videos in the works, and I hope you look forward to them, fellas. If you've made it this far, comment the word jalopy and I will heart it to confuse everyone as to why you're commenting the word jalopy. And it's also a nice little reward for being some of the few people who listen this far into the video. But yeah, thank you all so much, genuinely, and I will see you all in the next one.